Okay, we're still working with Penny on her issue of not wanting to go through the dog door. Now, as you saw in the other video, we basically were kind of enticing her to kind of go through, but I think it's difficult for her because I think she had a negative experience. So what I want her to do is practice touching her nose to something that's analogous with the dog door. In this case, we have the Guardian's cell phone case, which is a good analog because it's really about almost exactly the same size. And we're doing this close proximity to this. So for this is called a CER, or conditioned emotional response. What we want to do is we want the dog to create a positive association with something. Now, it'd be best if we could actually take this off, but this would require some construction, and this should work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove it from her view, and I'm going to flash it in front of her. And as soon as she looks at it, she's going to get a treat. Penny. And then it goes away. Now, the first couple times you want to do this, you want to just flash it. All she has to do is look. She doesn't have to touch it. Now, I like to switch hands, so it's not always coming in the same spot. If she's farting around and looking like this, she's looking for more treats that don't have the strings attached. But this is an easy string. Somebody's not happy on Easter. There we go. So first, when you do this, you want to do this about anywhere from about 6 to 15 treats. And if she's looking, don't try to get her attention. Wait for her to come back to you on her own. So now the next stage, I'm going to grab another series of treats, is I would like her to move towards it a little bit. She doesn't have to touch it. She has to move. She has to move towards it. Let's get you moving. Let me actually get down on my knees so you're not right here. It's a little bit better action. All right. So now, there we go. So you saw she approached it with her nose. She didn't touch it. She approached it. And because the treat appears every time she looked at it, she's more inclined to want to look at it now. I went back to the old one. The fly is not helping. You're going to get that for me, Penny? Yes, you are. So what I want her to do is actually touch at this point. Now, this might be a little bit too fast, but we'll see if we can get her to touch. There we go. I'm tossing the treat on the ground. And again, if she's distracted, wait her out. All right, now we'll switch hands. Try and get you coming over here, Penny. We need better camera presence for you. You're so pretty. We don't want to look at your butt all day long on the video. Penny? There we go. There we got a nose touch. But you see now she wants to touch it. She doesn't want to go through that, and it's too many things that are going on. So with the CER, she's got it, now I'm holding it a little bit off, she's got to take a step towards it. Touch. Touch. And we can call it touch. The Guardians taught her already kind of a touch game. She did a little bit differently than I did. I gave her a couple pointers, but there we go. So this is, again, conditioning her to feel good about it and to do a specific action. Now she's touching my hand, I want her to touch this thing. So I might actually have to hold it a little bit different. There we go. Now the idea is, at first we're doing this a little bit away from the door, but eventually we want to get a little bit closer. So now we'll go ahead and switch over. It's had to take several steps this time. Now she keeps on touching my nose, so I'm going to kind of hold the case touching my nose, touching my thumb. There we go. I want her to get closer to the door. There we go. Now, if you noticed in the other video, she didn't like, this is a problem getting on this step and then getting on this step. So what we're doing, when I have a dog that has a fear, I try to break it down in individual steps and help the dog practice and gain some confidence. Easy there, you're going quicker than I can do it. Getting closer and closer to it without the actual full Monty of whatever it is. In this case, I'm getting her closer and closer to this thing. And now we're getting her closer and closer to the door itself. And you keep on touching my thumb. I want you to touch the rest of this. Just try to hold it a little bit differently. So if she doesn't, I just pull it away and then give her another opportunity. So by not having to go through here, but getting rewarded every time she comes on the steps, she gets more and more bold with it. And the idea for this is eventually she gets more and more comfortable and she's willing to come up closer and closer on her own volition and doesn't have any hesitation, actually feels good about it. Boom. All right, so I'm going to ask the guardian to practice this a couple of times a day. We're going to do this about 10 or 15 treats, and again, do this before mealtime. I would probably practice this one before the other exercise of holding this open, because this is going to make her more inclined to, there we go, to want to touch this. I'm kind of confusing, not confusing her. There we go. So, but if you keep on holding it up here, and if she's really spooked, you could actually tape this back up so she doesn't actually have to deal and just hold it here. And then as she touches this, give her a treat. Eventually, if you do have it taped up, when she comes and touches this, give her one, and then immediately throw a second one through there. So she touches it with her nose, and then she jumps through. Because eventually, that's what she's going to do, is touches with her nose and shove it forward with her nose, and then jump through. So again, we're breaking it down in individual steps, helping her practice one step at a time, and one skill leads to another. All right, so we're gonna cut the filming here in a second, and I'm gonna have the guardian actually take over practicing this. But this is how you can use a conditioned emotional response to help a dog learn to touch the dog door with the nose.